can be hard to look fantastic at work. Dresses often seem to look fabulous on other women, and the idea of an outfit that is just one piece is quick, easy, and attractive. But you might not be sure which dresses will look great on you. Today, I will give you 7 great options for dresses that will make you look better than ever if your shape is the pear shape, otherwise known as the triangle or bigger at the bottom shape. You will be able to go shopping for these dresses because I'll show you what it is about them that works so you know what to look for. We will refresh how you can know whether your shape is indeed the triangle shape, and after the 5th silhouette, I'll explain why you may have found that a lot of the advice available about pear-shaped necklines doesn't work for you, and what to do as well if you own one of the dresses that I outlined today and it doesn't work for you, it hasn't been working. I'll also show a few women in the media who share this body shape because you could continue to be inspired with ideas as you follow them and notice what they look fabulous wearing. Now, I really understand what it's like to have niggles about how to dress your shape. I have this bigger at the bottom shape and I struggled to dress it beautifully for years. I could not find a dress to wear that would have me looking fantastic. And at one point I remember realizing that my whole wardrobe was separates: tops, jackets, bottoms, skirts and pants, but hardly any dresses. I think I may have had one. So it was really disappointing. I remember at the time, it just reinforced in my mind a negative view of my self-image, and my body concept took a hit as a result. That's why it was important to me to solve this problem. I felt awful myself not enjoying my figure, and I really wanted to turn that around. I wanted instead to feel fabulous every day in what I wore, and I dared to think that it was possible. Through years of learning and a lot of experimentation, probably too much, I think I spent a lot of money that I probably would have preferred to spend elsewhere now that I think about it. I did find the design principles that make style truly work. And then a little while later, I realized I could use those insights and principles to help hundreds of other women as well, which I have been doing since 2017 and I love. But I know you don't have to have such a challenging journey. This channel is the place to be seen in your best light in a corporate environment. And I want you to enjoy a wardrobe and a personal image that support you to bring your authority and your influence to this world. So if that sounds good to you, hit subscribe below the video and tell me in the comments, it will help others too. Which type of outfit, describe the outfit that is your favorite for wearing as the bigger at the bottom shape. For me and for my clients has been to get really crystal clear about your shape. Make sure you're working with the right body shape. So if your body shape is best described as the pear shape, which I prefer to call the bigger at the bottom shape, then you will say yes to almost everything I'm about to say. You will tend to be conscious of your bottom half, so your hips and your bottom. And you may also feel that your bust tends to look smaller than you would like. You are most likely to feel that your waist and your eyes are your assets, perhaps your legs as well, anywhere but your bottom and your bust. And you have a defined waist. So you're not straight up and down on the sides. You definitely have an indent at the waist. If you still have questions about whether this is your shape, that could be because there is a little bit more to it, and there are some more tips that can help you get clear. So I have outlined those to ensure you really accurately understand your body shape in the PDF linked in the description. So let's have a look at just 7 dress silhouettes that will work beautifully for you in a work context. I'll also outline the main reason that these work. And they are definitely not the only shapes or silhouettes for you, but they are a great first step if you're venturing into styling your shape to flatter your best features. So the first dress we have is the boat neck dress. Now you've probably seen the boat neck on t-shirts and tops and sometimes in evening wear. It's a classic neckline drawn straight off the sailing boat and into our wardrobes, which just reminds me of the adventure of sea travel and is totally dreamy. It's also a wonderful go-to neckline for the bigger at the bottom shape, which as you can see I've suggested here can work with a variety of bottom halves. So the reason this dress works so well is mainly the neckline, which draws attention to the neck and the eyes and away from the hips. Let's stick with necklines for now. So this dress is also one that works mainly because of the neckline, which is the square neckline. The square neckline creates the perception of a larger torso and bust. The torso looms larger in our vision, which creates balance with the lower half and provides the perfect complement. Shortly, I'll share an interesting fact that you need to be aware of if you're perusing advice online and you're noticing inconsistencies in what you watch and read about advice for the pear shape. But next, we're going to stay up top with a third neckline. And this is one that you will have seen many times. It's a lot easier to find, and this is the high neck. The high neck is super flattering for your shape for a similar reason as the square neckline, but it maximizes that effect even more. But another thing to point out about this dress, as we switch to talking about the bottom half for a short moment, is that the A-line shape works beautifully because it draws attention away from the hips. So with this dress shape, we are working mainly with the bottom half of your figure. And notice how the hips aren't outlined. They don't become a main feature of the outfit, which is exactly what you want. You want to draw the eye away from your hips. These are not the only 3 dress necklines that will work for you. I go through necklines in a lot more detail, plus more dresses that work and what to avoid in dress silhouettes. And I outline why it's not only shapes that affect how the garment flatters you in my online course, which you can find in the description. Perhaps since you're looking for dress ideas, you might also be planning how to build out your corporate wardrobe. I have a video on the 10 basics you need, which I will link here. Now let's stay with the bottom and talk about the flared midi. The flared midi dress is an amazing shape for your figure. The dress contains so much volume, but then is fitted at the bust area and snug at the waist or even belted. That combination draws attention to your waist really beautifully. These examples look like they are created in cotton or cotton blend fabrics, but the length and the fittedness lend a formality that would work really well in a business casual outfit with the right shoes. You might notice that the styling of these dresses is doing something clever. It's about having a bigger bottom, but not drawing attention to it. It's like when you're shown a visual illusion, a trick of the eye. You can't believe that you're actually looking at 2 lines that are the same size, but they are. Styling is all about doing the same thing. Let's talk about belts before we go any further, because a beautiful option for you is the belted dress. A belt provides a perfect pattern interrupt in an otherwise monochrome or patterned outfit. And by being the main feature between your bottom and top halves, the belt draws attention to your waist. So that then, of course, draws attention away from the hips and makes the belted dress a fantastic option for the bigger at the bottom shape. And before our last couple of dresses, I want you to know a key way to interpret this advice so that you get it right for you. Now, you might already know this about me. I strongly believe that fashion and style aren't frivolous. They are tools for career success and for life enjoyment, and they are a beautiful part of our self-expression. So it really annoys me that a lot of the advice available about necklines for the bigger at the bottom shape just doesn't work for most people with this shape. And you are smart enough to know that one pear shape is different to another pear shape. Your bigger bottom might be just a little bit bigger than your bust or a lot larger. And what many stylists don't point out is that the larger your bottom is in proportion to your waist and your bust, the more important it is to pay attention to your neckline. So there you have it. If you've noticed that a lot of the advice available about necklines for the pear shape doesn't work for you, that is probably partly why. The advice doesn't consider how much bigger is your bottom relative to your waist and your bust. For our last 2 dress shapes, we are now back at the top of the dress and we're looking at the cap sleeve as a gorgeous option for your work outfits. These cap sleeves are subtle, elegant, and totally work appropriate. Let me point out, you may feel that cap sleeves draw attention to your arms, which may not feel great, but in fact, the whole outfit actually works well. In the context of the dress, the cap sleeves draw attention away from the hips by widening your top half. So while you might be really focused on your arms, others actually see your whole outfit, and the cap sleeve works beautifully to provide that balance that the bigger at the bottom shape needs. Our last dress shape is the dress with bulky sleeve features. Yes, that's what I've called it. I had a bit of fun here pulling in a couple of different options, the butterfly sleeve in 2 different shapes and sizes and the puff sleeve. But there's other ways that you could get bulky sleeve features. And similar to cap sleeves, interesting sleeves that have a bit of feature and provide some interest and draw the eye are drawing the attention again away from your hips and your bottom, and providing as well balance to the whole look. Lastly, I'll address two situations that may have come up for you during this video. Firstly, were you hoping for a dress silhouette that you didn't see here? There are definitely more options, so perhaps that one you've got in mind is an option for you as well. Take note of the features that I've pointed out and look for those in your dresses and in the dresses that you shop for. It's also worth knowing that having a proven body shape strategy that is right for you is actually more powerful than knowing which silhouettes could work, because it opens up a lot more options. Secondly, do you have a dress like this and find that it still doesn't work? So one of these silhouettes is still not looking great on you. And I'm going to have a stab in the dark that possibly that dress fits well around the bottom and the hips, but it isn't fitting beautifully around your top half. And often with this shape, depending on your proportions, you may need to get that dress tailored. And if you do, it's absolutely worth the investment, because you now have a piece that fits you perfectly and which you will love wearing. You may need advice on how to make that tailoring work for you, but it's worth the investment. Lastly, let's look at who in the media is wearing clothes that work beautifully for this shape. There are plenty of celebrities who have this shape, but some of them don't dress it in a way that creates balance. So you may have heard mention of J-Lo and Beyonce as pear-shaped women, and they dress fabulously, but they are dressing their shape like an hourglass, which keeps lots of attention on the bottom. So instead, I've given you examples here of women who generally dress to minimize their bottom half and bring that balance. Here are some examples of them looking fabulous in their bigger at the bottom shape. We've got Kristen Davis, Rachel Bilson, Ileana D'Cruz, Amanda Peet, and Jennifer Love Hewitt. It has been great having you along today. I would love to see your comments. I read every one. See you again soon.